Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your t-shirted historian. Well, last weekend was a 3-day weekend for most of us, and we didn't have a show because I figured, people are probably going to want to spend time with their folks and stuff on Labor Day and just enjoy their 3-day weekend. And as it happens, a lot of folks took like 4-day weekends in some cases. Understandable. But for some reason, every time we have a short week, like a 4-day, it just, for some reason, it's more exhausting than if we'd have had a regular 5-day week. I don't know why that is. I guess it's something about, the scramble to pick up the slack from the one day that you missed, or maybe people are just so hyped up and excited still from all the fun they had over their 3-day. But yeah, my experience is 4 days are rough, and mine was rough. I'm tired. But I'm not as tired as Grim. Because Grim did 14 hours on his show yesterday. And as a result, he injured himself and is not able to be on the show today. So, yes, our title of the stream today is Grimless, because we are Grimless. And sadly, this is one of the days I could have used him because I had a really interesting question to ask for designers and stuff. In fact, I asked a few other designers if they'd step on and hang out with us today, and I guess nobody else bit. So I'm just going to have to go with my regular panel and hope that their TTRPG experience and enjoyment can answer this question sufficiently. I have a bit of myself, so I've already got an opinion on it. I've already voiced it, and yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But anyway, I hope you guys out there are having a great time. I hope your week wasn't as rough as mine was. Oh, got a little show and tell this week. Waiting on Ironcaster to get his butt in here so I can show it to him, because I know he's going to want to see it. We've got a few things to talk about, and one of them is about the new Hollow Knight game that just came out, which is doing massive numbers for something that's only been out for just a few days. And I actually did bring on a special guest. Well, he's actually a member of our panel, but he's on so rarely, he might as well be a special guest. We have Dash Attack.
Hey.
Hey, Dash. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be on. The dragon gave me a day off. He's working on a big video himself, so no panel tonight.
All right. Well, let's see. Who else do we have to bring in some expertise? We have Das Wolfen, who is usually pretty low key, but actually he has some very good insights, which is one of the reasons why I love having him on this panel. Thank you for being here, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. I enjoy being here.
Oh, good. Got the Ironcaster. I found him.
Hello.
And for support, I have Daniel. Good to see you, Driving Dragons.
What's up?
I am so sorry that your Harmony Ginger stream did not work out this week, dude.
No, I'm sorry. I'll roll it back Thursday.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. I did tune in, but I know that had to be kind of a little bit of a setback. I hate how that happens.
It messed up my whole mojo. I had everything all set up to have a good back and forth, and now I'm like, now I got to fill the space that I was hoping that she would talk during.
Yeah, well, now you know how I feel every single time I'm going into a show on Tuesdays and Saturdays, because sometimes it's kind of like, well, do I have any panelists? Because I'm not going to have any back and forth. I kind of need that. Speaking of which, we talk about guys who are going back and forth. We have Hunter.
Yes. The newfound residential failure now of this TTRPG hobby.
You're not a failure.
So, Hunter,
you didn't hear the news, T-Shredded?
Not
I'm now running...
Curse of Strahd?
Yeah, a 5e campaign.
I heard. Dash told me you've joined the enemy. Oh.
It's like, I was the chosen one.
Hunter,
join this, not destroy them.
How open are you to third-party supplements?
I'm actually being very kind of restrictive on like how much they can do. I told them I'm open and willing to hear stuff out, but
Okay, because I have the perfect book for you for this game. Okay, T-shirt. This is one we've talked about.
Oh,
It's called Kinks and Cantrips.
that would be
Oh!
perfect for a Ravenloft game.
I
Not that kind of campaign iron.
I was thinking you were going to talk about the monster waifu book.
That would be good too.
Yeah, but no, I quote unquote got my hands on a PDF copy of Kings and Cantrips, and I have glossed through it over just because I'm like, what is this book actually supposed to be about that got all this garner? And I'm just like, yeah, no.
There's only one third-party source you need for 5e, and that's Everyday Heroes, because it's the only 5e that's worth playing.
Yeah, I've got Everyday Heroes. I've got most of it.
Well,
Everyday Heroes.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that the thing about Everyday Heroes, I just think that 5e as a system mechanically is better suited to modern play, like modern era, than it is to sword and sorcery or any kind of high fantasy. It may have been designed to be D&D, but it really should have always been what it is. It should have been like an 80s action movie game, because that's really where the mechanics shine the best.
Yeah.
Is the way Everyday Heroes has it set up for modern.
Well, it's like I'm just running the game, but it's actually Dash's friend Kai who's actually kind of been putting it all together behind the scenes, getting the players together and all that. So I think I got 4 players I'm going to be working with currently. And I basically told them I'm taking some creative liberties to switch things up a bit, since this is one game that's been ran over and over and over again. And I'm also I'm choosing to use the optional attribute for sanity to really kind of inflict that horror upon the characters for the game. And then I'm going to kind of probably do a couple different rule tweaks here and there, because like this will be my first 5e game I've ever run, but I'm familiar enough with it to know what I like and don't like about it. So at least.
Well,
Yeah, this is going to be my first time doing a Strahd game, so I'm really excited. I've wanted to do this one for a long time.
I owned the physical book, and even I bought a pack of Tarot cards as well, because Curse of Strahd was one of those D&D modules I wanted to run like using other systems, which I did try to convince Kai, hey, would it be possible to do any other system? He's like, no, we got a player that is new to 5e and they want to learn that. So I'm like, fine. I've been wanting to run games anyways, because I've been dying to get back in the GM seat.
He's dying to be an eternal GM. That's a curse right there.
That's where I prefer to be. I mean, I love every time I get a chance to be a player for a minute and, run a couple of adventures or something. But I get more than 4 or 5 sessions as a player, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to run stuff again.
Yeah, I think I'm much the same way.
Yeah, I'm not organized enough to really be like a game master. I just it's hard enough like being a player.
If you do want to play, if you did want to play it in another system, you could just go back to the original.
Oh yeah,
I've got the original.
Yeah, but then it's only the castle, and I actually do like the idea of having basically having like a sandbox that the players walk around through.
Oh, then just use the 2nd edition box set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've actually got the 3rd edition one too, which is even bigger and completely different from all the other ones in the way it starts.
What's really funny is I didn't even know this. I was flipping through my physical book that I bought, and I didn't even realize they have maps. They have a map at the back of the book to tear out and put on a table, which I did not know, because I never flipped that far into the book before until now.
Oh yeah,
If you do want to go off the beaten path and try something a little bit different, you could try Necropolis.
That's really different.
It's just a little different.
Oh, that's the Egyptian thing you were talking about. That would be if you're ever running that. I definitely I'm just because I'm just a big ancient Egypt simp.
Or I could just throw them on the Whitechester at some point instead of Barovia.
That would work too. Well, I've got Mercurius has sent me Australian $1, and let me see, what have I got for you today? Yeah, this one's always a good one.
You gotta smoke. The United States is the no-smoking nation. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs, no women. Unless, of course, you're married. No guns, no foul language, no red meat. Land of the free.
I love that movie. I gotta watch it again.
Oh my god, that's actually the
Sure.
last hero scenario I ran.
It's honestly scary though.
Just
Sometimes
escape from New York.
Well, we did escape from Miami.
but it's also scary to realize just how many steps we are technically that we get towards that state of mind and state of being if we don't make different decisions.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm going to use for my next game. I'm using the Kong and Pacific Rim books.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And have you seen Pacific Rim: The Black? Very underrated. Check it out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'll tell you what I'm super excited about, but I'm actually supposed to be doing some play testing and stuff with it, but he decided to run Saturday morning, which is like terrible for F1 fans who live in the South because it's racing and football all day on Saturday on top of any other obligations. But Ghosts of Vietnam is looks amazing.
Oh, I know who's running that.
Yep, that's Gorgons.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
Vietnam tabletop game. Interesting.
Yes. He was challenged by Alexander McCrease to make a Vietnam era tabletop game, and he's basically made a second edition modern to run Vietnam, and it looks fantastic. And from just looking over the top of it, looks like it works better than anything else in second edition, in my opinion.
The only problem I have, and this is with every single level-based game that uses gun-based weaponry, especially something like Vietnam, is the fact that you end up with hit point creep.
It kind of helps out there with Ghost of Vietnam. It kind of sidesteps that a little because I'm with you. I actually dislike level-based in any way I can avoid it. I see it to be a critical flaw in just about any design from a game world perspective as opposed to a marketability perspective. It's very good for players at the table because it's dopamine hit from those XP gains and noticeable progression. But it sucks in terms of because everything gets out of hand. Well, he's designed Ghosts of Vietnam to be all about quick strike fire team missions and raids and stuff, just like you would if you were doing a tour in Vietnam. And it's like, okay, your character is doing a tour in Vietnam. He's going to be there for 6 months to a year and a half. He ain't leveling up a whole bunch. It's almost designed for one shots, which I think negates a lot of that problem.
Huh.
I'll just run Recon if I want to do a Vietnam era game.
Ooh, Recon. That was a good one. That's the Sembieta one, isn't it?
Yep, that's in the whole Palladium.
Yeah,
arc.
Palladium. Yeah. I never got a copy of that. I saw a copy of it when I was in high school, but I never got a copy of it. But damn, man, that one was cool.
No,
I don't know though.
I'm sorry. Go.
I got it. Oh, I was gonna say, I'll be honest with you. I feel weird about running anything like that has happened. Like I wouldn't want to run a Desert Storm scenario. I wouldn't want to run a Desert Fox scenario or a anything like that. Not even Vietnam because it's just too close to modern day, and it feels slightly somewhat disrespectful. I mean, I would even feel that way about World War II, World War I stuff. So for me, it's got to be completely fantastical. Although, strangely enough, I'm okay with modern day stuff because usually,
time, though, T-shirt. I mean, how much of this hobby all comes out of doing just that of doing war games set in these wars? I mean, look at the obsession some of our forefathers had over like the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, if anything, it's just moving the time frame forward because time has moved on. Vietnam is what, true. 60 years ago at this point.
Yeah, but I still know some Vietnam veterans.
That's what I was about to say. I think it comes to the point of you start thinking to yourself of like, even if you don't have one, and you probably don't, you start having the idea in the back of your head. It's like, man, I'm going to do this really cool Vietnam thing, and I'm going to touch on some of the major things that were important about Vietnam. And all you're thinking over there is, if I had that player that's sitting over there in the corner, and it's like, there's the guy who had to, pump a 45 round into a 6-year-old kid because they had a tater masher under their shirt, and you're putting that in the game, which may very well be the most traumatic thing he's ever had to do in his life. And even though he's not there, he's still there.
Yeah.
Whereas in modern day, it's the whole damn world, so you can kind of space it out.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had to do something similar. It messed him up pretty bad.
I'm sure. I've got an uncle who was over there who, to this day, will not talk about what happened. Now, he told his brother. His brother told me what happened, but not enough details to really know the ins and outs of what happened. But whatever it was, it messed with him pretty good. And I don't guess I'll ever find out the whole story behind it.
My dad has 2 Purple Hearts and a bunch of really gnarly scars on his abdomen, and absolutely refuses to watch movies like Full Metal Jacket. Like,
well, I bet
they're on. And yeah.
My friend's dad was a naval engineer back in World War II, and he refused to watch Pearl Harbor because it was just too close to the subject for him.
Now, my dad was a combat engineer, and he was attached to some groups, including some special forces groups. Because that's the thing about combat engineers, they get attached to other battalions.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was with the Wolfhounds, and we watched Platoon, and he was like, "Hey, that was," he was excited. He thought it was nice that they included a little known unit in the movie.
Huh.
So, but
if anybody ever asks me, Apocalypse Now is still my favorite Vietnam movie ever made. But
I remember the very first time I ever watched Full Metal Jacket, just how powerful that movie was, just watching that for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, both halves. Especially the first half with Arlie Ermy.
Yeah. You don't come away with that. You don't come away from watching Full Metal Jacket with a happy feeling. And you don't really come away with a happy feeling for any of those Vietnam movies. You really don't. But
yeah,
anyway.
I saw there's an AI video out of a music video about Harry Potter in Vietnam that I saw recently. Just throwing it out there because YouTube keeps recommending it to me.
What are you into? Well, let me and Ironcaster's muted.
I was like, I just saw a similar one pop up in my feed about Star Trek: The Next Generation in Vietnam.
Yeah. It must be a trend. It must be a trend.
Yeah, there must be a trend.
Oh, the only Harry Potter that came up in my feed was one about Hermione and Draco getting together.
Oh boy,
I don't see it.
I don't either. Well, let me do some show and tell here. So let me see what I got. See what I got this week. Wasn't much, but it was cool.
Just bringing that up, can we just all acknowledge how fucked up it is that people are shipping characters in Harry Potter? These are like 9 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah,
I thought we moved past all that.
The thing is, though, you can't forget that the shipping thing has always been there. I mean, it goes back to the days of the original Star Trek. I mean, some of the first and most famous fictions were like Kirk and Spock getting it on. In fact, the word Mary Sue came from a notoriously bad fan fiction.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it absolutely did, but they were adults.
I mean, I shipped Naruto and Hinata, and that ended up becoming canon.
And the thing is, any show, any medium, it's been persistent. Any anime, like any high school one, any other stuff, you will see people who are creative take these characters, take these ideas, and try to retwist them. Like, oh, we're gonna take and put these characters into a modern high school setting, even though they're all like in their franchise, like 35-year-old grown adults.
Quick, change the channel.
Thank you.
That's appropriate.
Yes, yes, it is. Anyway, first one. This one's going to get Daniel excited.
Hey.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, there's another one I got to add to my list.
You haven't seen this?
Mm.
Never mind. Ironcaster hasn't seen it either. So
I believe I've established that the first ever Clint Eastwood movie I remember watching was Gran Torino. I'd never seen any of his Western stuff.
oh my gentle Jesus.
Yeah, the
You
only
gotta
one,
watch the Man with No Name trilogy.
I- the
I do
only
have
one
that
I've-
saved on my list. It's on Tubi.
the only one I've watched in full was Jonesy Wales.
That's a great one, though. That is a
Yeah.
great Clint Eastwood movie to watch.
Pretty
It
much
is so
everything.
quotable.
Great.
Yeah, but the ultimate is good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's
Yeah,
it's not up there. Gran Torino's not a bad one to.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not
No.
a bad introduction to Growly Clint.
Yeah. Unforgiven is still just unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
unbelievable. But
Clint
this
Eastwood's
wasn't
a lot
bad.
he's a lot like Gene Hackman or Charles Bronson. It's like you can give him the worst script on the planet, and he's going to make it into a movie that you want to watch probably more than once.
Well, and I found out the secret of Clint Eastwood movies. All the Malpaso productions, those are Clint Eastwood financed films. That's his studio. And Clint Eastwood's philosophy as a director is he wants the first take, one take. So basically, it's because he thinks that you only get the most genuine reaction on the very first take. And it's kind of funny because when he had DiCaprio on one of his sets working as JFK, he said even though DiCaprio won all kinds of awards and accolades and everything for JFK, Clint Eastwood said he didn't want to work with DiCaprio again after that because DiCaprio kept insisting on multiple takes and all this kind of stuff to the point where Eastwood eventually just walked over to the craft service table and just got himself some coffee and waited until DiCaprio was finished. So Clint is a one and done kind of guy. But yeah, this was a decent film. And then this one is also one that people should be getting.
Landman.
I haven't seen it. It's on my list.
Never heard of
It is so damn good. It's like must watch TV.
Oh, that speech he gives though about the oil business is
Oh God, yeah. That is
be must watching for every high schooler.
yeah. That is pretty much my selling point on this show to everybody I meet. It's like I ask them, have you seen Landman? No? Here, let me show you this scene. Golly. Yeah, you need to watch this show.
It's like kind of like telling people to watch the John Goodman scene in Gambler.
Uh-huh.
Yep. It's
Now,
like, this is every reason you need to watch this movie.
mm-hmm. Now, here's where we get to hear Ironcaster heavy breathing. Because I didn't get any birthday presents, except from Squeak a Mouse, but by then it was already too late, so I didn't get the money that month. But I bought myself some birthday presents for August. You know, last month was my birthday, and they finally arrived this week. And this was one of them.
Robots.
Yes. And look,
And more
comes with-
importantly, you took them out of the package.
well, of course I did. What the hell good are they inside the package? You can't play with them if they're inside the package.
Exactly.
That's like buying a comic book and not reading it. Why would you do that?
It always makes me think of that DS9 episode where Quark goes back to Ferenginar with his mom, and he's got his like Raider Mem action figures, and she's like, "I told you not to take them out of the box."
Well, I don't think I'll ever be alive long enough to resell these or have to worry about it. I'm more worried about, somebody who gets them and won't treat them as nicely. But that's not the
my
big thing.
six-year-old would love to play with this.
That's not the big thing, though, Caster. This is the one that needs to get your heart going because those are the 1/18th scale figures, right? Or actually, those are the 1/25th scale figures. This is the 1/18th scale one I got.
Oh, that's kind of cool looking one.
Oh, I love the feet.
They're very articulate. And check this out. That's metal. It's a metal armature.
Nice.
Yes. It has ammo clips that actually come out. You can actually pull them out of the gun. It's got all kinds of swivels. Look at the fingers are individually mobile.
That's a good toy.
That's a very good toy. I mean, look at this shit, man. It's got like adjustable front stock. It's got gun clip. You can change them out. And then hurt like hell getting them back in.
You're killing me.
And then,
dude.
oh,
You're killing
I'm really
me.
going to kill you here in a minute. Here we go. And the best part is we have a pilot that came with it who can come out. He's got his own accessories and gear. And he has his own gun on the inside of the seat that can be pulled out.
And that's exactly how that should be played out.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's exactly like what he should. Like, oh, the pilot, of course, should have a gun anyway, regardless.
Well, of course.
Like, one of two worst case scenarios: either A, that mech winds up getting stranded, in which case you got to climb out, or B, you're trapped. You're running out of air. You have nowhere to go, except you do have one way out.
Well, that is an SMG. It's what that would be, a personal defense weapon, a PDW. So, but I mean, yeah, when I at first I didn't understand why it was so expensive. I figured, okay, yeah, it's bigger because it's 1/18th scale, right? I didn't realize that the limbs and stuff were made out of metal. So yeah, it's a robust toy. I still wouldn't want to drop it, but it's heavy though.
It was so
I wouldn't
expensive.
want to break my floor.
We couldn't afford the terminology.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I'm saying. I heard you're from Texas, and I heard front stock and clip.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Killing me, man. Killing me. Four
What?
grip. Magazine.
Foregrip and magazine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Clips are little metal things you put bullets in that go in the top of an M1 Grand. They make
Oh,
this
yeah.
delicious
Yeah.
little thing when they're done.
I wasn't even thinking, man. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah, you're right. Magazines.
About it. I didn't want to say anything about it and like ruin your mojo there because you were getting all excited about it. And I'm like, oh no, he's doing the thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. I'm about to say, is this a Jenny D review?
Hell no. But I do have something else. As it happens, I kind of messed up. I accidentally ordered 2. So I have one of the smaller night raid type fear units. So, Caster, what do you say? You want one?
I mean, I would love to take it if you're giving it.
No, sir, not for what I paid. I can't just give it to you.
See, the problem is, I just paid $2,000 to replace a window on the house, and my car's in the shop.
Okay, well, I'm not an eBay scalper. I won't charge you like $100 like they will.
Just 99.
I remember.
Well, I'd
buddy-
probably do like 70, but
So you ain't even got to be an eBay scalper. I've been looking at getting a master grade Sasabi for years, and I just can't figure out which kidney I need to sell to buy one.
I know.
It's so ridiculous. It's like, oh, look at this. I can get it shipped here straight from Japan for, $400.
Savo, yes. Yes, Landman is on Paramount, which honestly, that's pretty much it. It's like the Taylor Sheridan network at this point, because Taylor Sheridan pretty much has all the top shows on there, and they're all good.
Yeah.
And hey, Thrawn Kill, it's been a while. Also, Savo's been putting out a lot of saucy new artwork up on X, and I've been reposting all of it because it's good.
Yeah, I do the same.
Oh yeah, the Sazabi's out of print.
Uh huh.
Yep, sure is.
So
Best
anyway,
fucking
on.
suit all you see.
Uh huh. Next,
She
on to our.
posts artwork of a drow, and I just think I can fix her.
I mean, you know, it's like
Why would you want to fix her? She's perfect as she is.
yeah, she's perfect as she is. You just have to, you know, be able to have to accept the fact that you know you're going to be someone's property. But anyway, so okay, our next order of business. Apparently, there's a Punisher #1 coming next week. I did not know this. I don't know if it's a reprint or whatever, but I think it is because from the looks of it, these are old covers that I've seen before. But let me pull it up real quick and I'll show you.
Yeah, is it true they're bringing back the skull symbol?
Well,
Yes.
that certainly seems to be the case.
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't even know they got rid of it.
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
did
yeah.
because oh no, people on the right are using it, and in the military, we got to change it. It was
Yeah.
really dumb, like knee jerk decision. So they
Because
made it like some sort of devil.
Mhm.
because the Punisher wasn't in the military and had absolutely no sympathies whatsoever with what they would consider the right.
I thought Punisher was a military man, from what I can recall.
It
It's
was
called
police.
That was that. Yeah, I was going to say that's.
He was in Vietnam.
If
Yeah.
you want to switch
Yeah,
over
yeah.
to over
No,
Appreciate
it's
you
just
wanna switch over to my screen?
the
I'm
new
trying.
like dumb writers just didn't get that the character had broad appeal, and they started thinking that the Punisher symbol was being used for right wing terrorism or something.
You
What
got to blow
part
that
of
up,
the
dude.
Punisher does it look like he would be a leftist in any sort of capacity?
hang on, if you would be so kind as to allow me to read this for you guys.
Go ahead.
Frank is back. Reread and reload True Believers. Frank Castle is back with no memories, a full clip, and a thirst for wrathful vengeance.
What?
I didn't write this.
Yeah, I already get red flags from just the way this is sounding.
Bullets will
Yeah.
fly, blood will flow, and the citizens and criminals of New York City alike will fear the name, The Punisher. From the superstar Helverine creative team of Benjamin Percy, Julius Ota, don't miss a single post-pounding page of this explosive new series. 32 pages for $5. And
At least we know what his superpower is now.
His superpower is guns.
His
It always
superpower
has
is
been.
he can load clips into modern semi-automatic firearms.
Yeah.
not
That's
only
his
that,
superpower.
this is a Frank Miller variant cover.
Yeah.
Oh, they got Frank Miller, is this a whole story? Because I thought Frank Miller's canceled.
Oh, believe me that nothing against Frank, but he's like anybody else. You hand him enough money, he'll do it.
Little Patrick Gleason.
Yeah, I don't care. That's a Mike Zeck cover right there. I recognize it right off bat.
I didn't like that cover at all. I thought that one looked stupid.
Yeah, I'd rather
That's-
get the Frank Miller cover.
That's actually Mike Zeck is the guy who actually worked on the Punisher Limited series covers, and those are kind of classics to me. But I'm
was
not
like-
sure how I feel about this, being
Yeah, but-
the super hardcore Punisher fan that I am.
He's got the Norman Osborn Widow Peak, for goodness sake. I mean,
Oh, that's not so bad. When they had Angel, what's his name, doing the artwork on it, he looked absolutely ridiculous. At that, and the character was just fucking dumb. Like literally, he was Angel Olivetti. That was the name of the artist. And yeah, he not only did he look dumb, but the character acted dumb. Like he literally acted less intelligent than he normally.
Yeah, I
Handled
wonder
himself.
if this is all prep for Spider-Man, getting away from rebranding Punisher and just giving people true Punisher to hype up the new Spider-Man movie.
Well, that and
Unlikely. I think I'd have to go look and see what's going on with the current Marvel landscape, but it looks like being Red Band, it tells me that's going to be a bit of a be of a limited series, which I think they've done it a few times over. It's essentially going to be like a Black Label book, like DC does that sometimes.
I see. So it's going to be very R-rated. Nice.
Yeah, that's why they're specifying it as almost a sub-label genre within Marvel.
Well, you got to be careful with that though, because on two sides. One, there should be no such thing as a PG-13 Punisher.
No.
True.
Like the entire purpose, the entire point, you lose all the messaging and everything by taking it and making it less gritty. My issue is with any modern medium. When people, this is going to be the real adult, the real graphic version. It's like all that usually means these days is we're going to be as gratuitous as we possibly can. We're going to put in all the sex, all the nudity, all the violence, all the blood, and all the gore that has no reason other than to just be there for shock value or whatever.
Yeah, that's the boys' approach to maturity.
Yeah, I hate that crap. It's like what I want. The shock needs to have a reason for it.
I'll be honest.
These books, the shock had a reason.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Actually, that's kind of how I used to view Heavy Metal Magazine and why I used to read Heavy Metal Magazine, because it did have all the edgy shock and pointless nudity and gore and everything else. There's a market for all that stuff.
Special with it.
No, now. My thing is, like, are they pulling this out to try to draw, like old Punisher fans like me back in? Or are they doing it to set up something new? Because I think John Bernthal has already taken a look at the character that Marvel is proposing and said, nah, I don't want to do that. Although I'm sure for the right amount of money, you could probably get him back.
I honestly think he did a pretty damn good job as Punisher on Netflix. Oh, yeah. I mean, that clearly. There's only so much you can do when they start writing stuff into garbage.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's like, how do you fuck this up? It's like, guy wears body armor with skull on it and kills criminals. This is a recipe for unlimited funding from gun fanatics at the very least. I mean, all they have to do is show a little bit of gun porn in every episode and it would have been great. Seriously.
I mean, yeah, because the Punisher always has his hands on the very best, on like the very best toys.
Hell yeah! I mean,
have a Punisher Sons of Anarchy crossover where they run guns to him.
That would be kind of different, but actually, here, think about this, and this is a license to print money right here. Why not have the actual gun manufacturers like Glock or H&K or whoever giving him the very best toys to use on the show as a form of advertisement for their products? It would go through the roof, man.
Yeah, and then you'd realize that it's owned by Disney, and it's the writer's room is populated with raging leftists, and they'd be like, "Oh no, we're giving money to the evil gun manufacturers,
the gun industry." No. But that's the thing, it's like...
Yeah, it's like they can't, like, no matter how hard they try, you just can't remake the Punisher. Like, they wish the Punisher could just go away and that he wasn't so popular. But hey, just play Marvel Rivals. There's always at least someone playing Punisher. And, Punishers, it doesn't help that Punisher is a really useful character in that game.
Yeah. The fact is, it's like Disney, for the longest time, seems to have been kind of trying to break away from its family-friendly image by, teaming up with Hulu and trying to do more harder edge stuff. Like they tried to do the Daredevil Born series. They did the, what was that Star Wars cretin that I don't care about? The douchebaggy one that everybody likes so much because it's the best Star Wars. Andor, yeah, that one. The one I won't watch it because it's a douchebaggy.
When you said Star Wars Cretin, I just thought you were talking about the people they hired to write the new series.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the actual shows. But it just seems like Disney is trying to break into the adult audience a little bit more, or trying to get some of those adult bucks a little bit more. But it's just kind of like they still have this reputation of being family friendly, kid friendly, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just kind of like, guys, make up your mind.
Oh, they can't make up their mind. That's like the whole thing. Like, like when they started putting like gay messaging into the kids' films, they just expected like the families and the parents to like still see them while they pander to like these man children adults. Like, and then like surprise Pikachu face, the whole thing like, blows up in their face. Their brand is like in chaos. And now like they're attempting to try and rebrand like to be as like, okay guys, we're still like a little bit left, but we're not super woke.
Please give us money.
They desperately need to hear that John Goodman speech from The Gambler, because their money printing machine fuck you position has been lost forever. Because they looked and they said, hey, we got a gay day, so let's just be super gay and ignore the other 364 family days. It's like, which basket should we put our eggs in? The 364 days or the 1 day? Let's do the 1 day. We only need 10% of our customer base.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes, 10%. 10% of our revenue stream, and wondering, why is this not working? But we'll pay Robert Downey Jr., mega bucks to go and do Doomsday, which is going to be, the great Marvel Disney cameo show. Because I don't think it's going to be a movie worth watching.
Well, from the sound of it is that like there's no script and all they are is just actors assigned, and that's not how you make a movie.
Actors assemble. That's not a movie. But anyway, Grim says the two don't have to be exclusive to one another. Audiences, I mean, they don't have to be, but
no.
Well, when you focus on alienating one to service the other, if you're gonna do that, you need to alienate the smaller one.
And no, it's not just alienated. They just expected like the people they were alienating to just take it and accept their slop. Like Star Wars, like okay, Luke's a lame-o now. Just accept it, move on. This is the future, and that didn't happen. And now, like the brand is in complete stagnation, trying and failing to gain relevance again.
Exactly.
No, this is making me think about Ben back in 2022. Everyone, I don't know if y'all remember this, but they had that gay rom-com called Bros that they were trying to like, all the LGBTQIA plus people are going to come out and see this. We're going to make millions, and hardly any of them came out.
I remember Bros. Yeah,
I remember them blaming us.
Yeah.
It's like they said it was our fault was saying this wasn't a movie that we would want to watch in the first place.
It's kind of like, we could have told them. It's like that. We're not going to watch that. It's obviously not made for us.
Rom-coms are pretty much like a chick like based genre. So like, making it a rom-com about gay guys, just like you're not going to get a lot of men.
And surprise, surprise, you're actually not going to get a lot of women either, because they don't like it any better than we do.
There's a lot of good ones out there. Like, what was the one that Steve Carell did where he's learning how to do picking up chicks from a guy? What movie was that one called? That was like a really good one.
The 40-year-old virgin?
40-year-old virgin.
No, it was something.
Was that the one where he eats pancakes? Yeah, I know that one. And he sings "My Love Will Open the Door." That was actually a good movie.
No, it's like his wife's divorcing him. They have kids, and the name escapes me now. It's like a really popular, but it's one of those.
He's done several rom-coms.
Yeah.
It's gonna drive me nuts now. Oh, Crazy Stupid Love. That's what it was called. That was a good one.
But Glenn just made a good point, but I don't think he intended to make the point that he made. He said, queer as folk did it really well. Well, yeah, and here's the problem, and this is why it did that. Because Queer as Folk or L Word or any of those others, they were about a certain subculture, or they were about the scene. They were about that, and they were attempting to be about that. These other things are not that. They're just, let's take something that is for somebody else and gay code it and say, look, we made it gay, so come buy tickets. It's like,
or the other thing too is oversaturation of the market. Because what made Queer as Folk neat was with the fact that it was kind of different in a sea of other shows that weren't about homosexual people. that was kind of unique, different, and like, oh, that's kind of eye-opening, and you know. But then it's like when every show starts doing it, it stops using it, having its uniqueness, and it starts losing its draw.
Yep.
Yeah, like they've poisoned the well so bad that like even if you have like a good written gay character like Dion in Final Fantasy 16, like people will just like have a like repulsion, like they just won't like be open-minded because like the well is poison. They only see politics.
Mm-hmm.
They also tend to overdo it quite a bit.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that too. That's why I said the oversaturation. Like
Well, I'm not even
and
talking about
especially on the Western side, where they don't know how to actually write human beings, and they just make them stereotypes.
True.
Yes.
I'm not even just saying the oversaturation, like every single show has it, but I talk about the oversaturation within the stories themselves. I did a beta read for a guy a few years back, and one of the pieces of advice I gave to him. Now, I was very, very careful to take my bias out of this. That's why I didn't just delete it the second that I saw that the SS Bernie Sanders was a giant spaceship in it.
Oh.
But I sat there, I said, dude, I'm like, every single character in this entire book is some sort of alphabet mafia coded. There are no straight people here at all. I said, I see what you're trying to do, and I get that you want some representation. I said, but you need to dial this back. You need to dial this back a lot. Like, if you want to show that it's more prevalent now, it's more accepted now, it's a bigger part of the world population, have 2 or 3 and nobody makes a big deal out of it. What you've done is made a big deal about it, and you've made 100% of the population this, and all you're doing is distracting me from the rest of your story.
Yeah,
the big fundamental problem is you have so many people who are in positions of authority, especially within getting books published through these major publishing houses, that are specifically looking for this stuff. And I mean, the best person you could go and talk to about this and ask is Guardbro. He's the one. He's told us about how his books were rejected hundreds of times because he didn't check enough boxes. And that's the sad reality is they're not looking for a good story. They're looking to have good check boxes.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
And we've got some more stuff though. We got some more stuff. I mean, this is we're still just kind of in the tip of the iceberg on what I want to cover today. But
just a tip.
Just a tip, baby. Just a tip. We're gonna stick the whole thing in before it's over with. But we're gonna tease you a little bit with those. But Dash I brought on because of the Hollow Knight Silk Song debacle.
Yeah.
Which okay. Hollow Knight Silk Song, what is it? It released on Thursday?
Yeah, it released sometime this week for $20, like very short notice. A bunch of indie games actually had to push back because of they knew how big this game was going to be. And now journalists are blaming Silk Song for being successful.
And I'm going to check out the numbers while you guys talk about it.
Oh, the numbers are very, very good. I was going over them yesterday during my first network show.
Wasn't there like 500,000 people played it on Friday afternoon?
Yeah.
Way more.
Holy shit.
Has it gone up? Oh, no, it's gone up a little bit.
Mind you, this game was successful and people decided to deride it and say it's evil? That never happens. People never just get envious and start trashing success.
This game released in the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday. Yeah. Like it didn't even wait for the weekend to get going. This is a game that was put out by 3 people. Mm-hmm. That's the entire development team for this game is a 3-man team. They were cooking on this game for 8 years, and Steam alone has currently 400,000 players playing, and you got to figure this is on everything: Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation. This is on
anything Steam covers. Yeah, and let me see. This is coming off. I have to live do this one. So to share screen. Bam. So right here, you got the media saying, I think Silk Song's 2-week PR push has done some damage to other indie studios. I don't think Team Cherry thought about the impact this game would have on other indies in their marketing. I think that's a bummer that I hope isn't replicated, to be honest.
In other
Because this
words,
guy was...
suck at marketing and suck at putting out your game the way you need to, and you're pissy that somebody did it better.
Well, yeah, because look at this guy down here says many indie developers are delaying their games to get out of Hollow Knight Silksong's way. They had
That's
marketing
good
plans,
business.
which are now have to be changed because of something they couldn't anticipate.
And also because, and this is my opinion on the average gamer, the actual average gamer, would rather pay $20 for a somewhat decent game than pay $80 for a game about black people robbing museums.
Yeah.
So also bear in mind, this game is also out on Xbox Game Pass. If you happen to have that, you don't have to pay for this game. Xbox players are still buying this game, even though they have the Game Pass. And the worst part of this whole thing is that this is that crabs in a bucket mentality that is basically that we've seen time and time again with Baldur's Gate. We saw people complaining, saying, oh, it sucks that, a game like this came out and now we all have to be compared to this. People were, you had establishment game developers who worked from like Ubisoft were complaining about like Elden Ring, saying, well, it doesn't have all the intuitive markers and it doesn't hold your hand. And, these games that are, putting more faith and trust into the players are creating expectations for game devs who expect you to come and suck their cock for the sheer fact of being a game dev.
Well,
here's one.
Baldur's Gate did the same exact thing. You had devs complaining like, oh, we can't keep this standard of interactivity and dialogue choices like gaming used to be, because like Baldur's Gate went above and beyond what most, even BioWare, is capable of these days.
Yeah, just read some of those Twitter posts that people are saying. The audacity that these people now have to go give, because it used to be all support your independent artist, support your independent developer, support the couple guys in the garage freaking making things. Hell, Apple was all started by just a couple guys in someone's garage before it became the multi-billion-dollar company conglomerate that it is now. The fact that these people would rather support these companies that are losing my words here in my anger. They're these companies that are taking their fists and shoving them up our asses, basically, with their price gouging. I'm sorry, there's no way to describe it. The fact that these people are defending these studios instead of being like, hey, support these independent developers who have made a game, because I believe this is a second Hollow Knight game they've made. There was a previous one before. Am I mistaken?
Hollow Knight and Silksong.
Yeah, so I have not played either of these games. I just know there was one before. So I'm taking everyone's word on that. Yeah, this is as good as a game as everyone's been saying it is. But the fact that people were like, yeah, everyone complained about the Nintendo Switch 2 and the pricing for their games, the pricing for the console. But guess what? Everyone still bought it for some reason. Now there's an option where people are getting a game that is made by well-known creators that had successful first game time around with it, $20, which is a steal compared to a lot of other games out there. And they have the audacity to complain about it. Okay,
I think what Hunter's trying to say is,
don't fuck with me.
Yeah, another thing to consider is that, these people are sucking up for access. It's because all these people want access.
Either way,
small
Cherry had the responsibility of giving a heads up about the release of Silksong and accommodating the other indie devs in regards to it. Art isn't made in a vacuum, and as indie devs, they absolutely should have known how hard it is for other indie devs to be visible.
It's a competitive market,
and money isn't made by making boneheaded, retarded decisions that take your competition into consideration instead of what's best for you and your customer.
Exactly.
The Soviet Union learned this crap. You can't beat the market.
Yeah.
We have seen this before, guys. We've seen this before. You know how I know? Because I remember back when Crystal Dynamics was a nothing burger company. I remember when some of these other studios were tiny little one-shot indie devs who had just put out their first game and it was struggling to sell. But I remember when fucking Blizzard brought out their first Warcraft game. I played their demo before it ever released on the shelves. The first thing I told my boss is I said, guys, you better stock up on this one. This is going to be huge. Sure enough, we got like 4 copies in that day, including myself. All of them were gone within moments that it hit the shelves. And this is the thing. All these companies started out as the little guys who were just like the first try. You know, id Software was kind of like a nothing burger until Wolfenstein, but it was Doom that really put them on the map. And so what you're seeing now is all the guys who are in power, who are the AAA games industry, the quadruple A games industry, they know that their days are numbered. They know that they're fucking up. They know that the shit they're putting out ain't selling. They can't figure out why, because everybody who made that company what it was has been chased off, died, retired, or otherwise jumped ship when they saw that this shit was sinking because it had too many leaks in it. And so as a result, we're seeing these tiny indie companies who have passion rediscovering the market magic that is the word of mouth of the people who love something, and they can tell when you love something. And so as a result, they make a great game that's tiny and doesn't sell for too much, but it goes mega bucks, and they become the next AAA developers. It's going to happen.
Customers.
Go ahead, Iron.
They're told that they should be listening to these special interest groups who are going to come in and be consultants, and as a result, they've effectively said, "F you" to the fans. They don't know who to turn to. They don't know who to trust.
Yep.
And they don't know how to get good feedback because, I mean, to be fair though, the masses it is a big soup of a million individual voices that might be saying different things.
Now, the sad thing is, the few times that they do try to do something different, and it still ends up being shit. Bethesda is the best example of that I've ever heard of, because despite everybody's wishes, they said, hey, we're going to waste 10 years of time developing this brand new game, this brand new IP that's been built from the ground up. It's going to involve space travel and building your own spaceships and blah, 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 blah. And guess what? Nobody bought it. Nobody likes it. The modders won't even touch it. And that may be part of the reasons why the game isn't worth a shit, because the modding community won't touch it.
No Man's Sky just released a new update, and like the player count hit like its all-time peak.
Yeah. How long did it take Star Citizen to finally hit?
The big problem, though, is that these companies, these developers, they don't understand the way those old companies worked. Like Blizzard would go out and make games they wanted to play. I mean, that's in one of the last great thing they made was Overwatch. Overwatch was a shooter like they liked, and people loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ship analogy is a really good one for companies for a couple of reasons. But, because everything we're talking about here, these are all symptoms of the same disease. The thing about it is, one thing you have to have in the market is adaptability. And the thing about big ships can create a wake that can push stuff out of their way. They can survive big swells and heavy movement on the sea. But A, they all leak. And B, they all have a lot of extraneous stuff that they have to have on them. And probably more importantly than anything else, they can't turn fast. They can't adapt quickly, which is where your indies fill in the space. And when an indie gets big, it's because they turned and they beat a big developer to the market because the ship couldn't turn fast enough. Once it does, all those other indies get pushed out of the way, and they need to find their own new path.
Yeah.
They're just salty that they didn't get there before everybody else. And it's the same with anything.
I absolutely wonder if Yacht Club is going to get a similar amount of backlash when Min of the Hollower comes out on Halloween.
And who knows?
We got a Hollow Knight sequel before GTA 6.
But yeah, like Shovel Knight was like their was such a big game. It's gotten like so many editions, like even got Smash Brothers representation. And this Min of the Hollower game looks like a combination of Castlevania and like the Game Boy Zelda games.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just we're in a time of transition. It's kind of fun to watch, and it's fun to predict who's going to be the next big thing and which companies are going to fall and which ones are going to survive. If you had to ask me, I don't know. Some of these companies, I feel like they're too big to fail. Like, I don't think Bethesda will ever completely go under because it's got Microsoft holding it up.
Yeah.
Well,
And look
one
at
of
all
the
the
things you
sub-
also have to see is, I mean, there's a. Let me
I'll
find.
say, look at all the
So-
sub studios.
Yeah.
It's got id. It's got who else has it got? It's got
Isn't it got Ravensoft?
yeah, it's got Ravensoft. It's got they dissolved a couple of them, but
Oh, see, I remember Ravensoft when they were brand new. I bought the very first Ravensoft game that ever came out, which was like this chess game with monsters. I don't remember what it's called anymore, but
Battle
there is
chess.
a Battle Chess, yeah.
it wasn't Battle Chess. It was something else. It was literally, it was almost like a Street Fighter type thing where, you know, the monsters would, you know, duke it out on a chessboard, and then you could actually control the monsters, and they all had special moves, and it was kind of cool.
Well, there is a bit of a concern, though, that when you look at some of the reporting that's been coming out, and there was a Game Rant article from a few months ago that showed that PC gamers are mostly playing games that are at least 6 years old. This is all pre-COVID stuff. I mean, games like Skyrim, games like Minecraft, Fortnite. These are older titles that are getting all the attention.
I'm still playing 7 Days to Die. That damn game's like old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Diablo 2, Master of Orion 2, Master of Orion 1, and Return to Zork.
I just
I never
started up
could get into
another
one.
Skyrim playthrough.
There you go. And I've said that
Fallout
before.
3.
Yeah, that's what Legacy is all about. Is building something that still stands the test of time that people want to play 10, 12, 20 years later. I still have Assassin's Creed 2 loaded up on my PC because every once in a while I like to take Ezio out for a spin. But yeah, I mean, you know, things were different back then. I mean, you had guys they had new technologies, new innovations, new studios, and they had games that they were really excited about, and they found an audience for it in us. And now look what happened. They became corporatized. They kept trying to appease as many people as possible to increase the market share as far as they possibly could. And the result is you get gray goo. Kind of the same thing that happened to Dungeons and Dragons.
Kind of, but don't let your nostalgia goggles get you too good, because we look back and we see some great innovations. We see, you know, Fallout, or you know, we see like a Fallout 3, New Vegas. We look back and we see Master of Orion 2. We look and we see all these great old things that endured and made the test of time. We see the Warcrafts, but we kind of forget things like that Virtual Boy and that Super Scope and all this other crap that got made, this Power Glove, and all this other garbage that came out that was just trash. All these, you know, licensed property games that were barely, completely unplayable, and there was no patch for them. They just came out unfinished, and they just got to stay unfinished. We kind of conveniently sweep that stuff under the rug, forgetting that if we go pull our Super Nintendo library, there's Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI right next to a list of what is it, JVL or JLM games.
Oh, yeah.
WrestleManias with no special moves and generic characters, and samurai games where the hitboxes are like wildly inaccurate. And
yeah, that's true too.
Ultraman, which is one of the worst games ever made.
The worst offenders I remember back at the time was Electronic Arts, because they came out with a whole bunch of Genesis titles, and the cartridges were cool looking and different from the regular cartridges, but the games themselves were just not very good Amiga ports, and they sucked.
And it was We just celebrated a 2-year anniversary of a certain clip from a famous heel about Starfield.
Yeah, heels
Guy
versus
was part of a lot
babyface.
of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel sad because, you know, when studios do try to do new things like Starfield and then get, you know, kicked in the balls for it because it was terrible, that makes them not want to, you know, stray away from that formula again, you know. So I guess now Bethesda's going to just stick to being safe and doing nothing but Elder Scrolls 25 and, you know, Fallout 92 and but I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily such a bad thing.
No.
I'm okay with that. I mean, if all they want to do for the rest of their gaming existence is nothing but Fallout and Skyrim or Fallout and Elder Scrolls, I could live with that because that's the good shit. But you know,
But the problem
stay
is
with the
there's
lady
no
you brought.
innovation.
Yeah, the problem is there's no innovation, but let other studios deal with that. You know, that's
There's
why you
no
have
innovation.
Hollow Knights.
There's no innovation in Madden, and they sell billions of copies.
Yeah, they do. You know.
You know, the
So-
lack of innovation is like why Pokemon is dying and this new Digimon game is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution here is, guys. I mean, you know, World of Warcraft has continuously tried to reinvent the formula over and over and over and over and over with every single expansion they bring out. And I'm at the point where I could care less about every single one. I mean, I've tried to go back and play them, and I just don't get excited about it because it's like, this is the same grindy ass fetch quest bullshit that was in the game from day one. It's just the graphics look better and they've got some new kind of interesting mechanics, and now they've dumbed it down to the point where you don't even have to go through rotations because the game will do it for you automatically. So who is this game for? He'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah, I don't. I've played World of Warcraft since it launched. Well, shortly after it launched. I didn't start until December of 2004. But because I got it for Christmas. But I haven't gone back for this whole expansion because it's just you're on a gear treadmill. That's all it is.
Yeah. That's the sad thing about it is the fact it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, I can only save the world so many times. And then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the next expansion drops and everybody's treating me like a raw ass noob again.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what was it old Yahtzee said? The never-ending quest for new pants.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, how would you like it in a TTRPG that we're playing? Let's say, you know, you've done some kind of great service for the world. You've stopped like the evil count scumbag and, you know, rescued the kingdom and everything else.
Sounds scumbag. I'm patenting that.
Do that. And then after doing all this, you know, you go to some foreign land and everybody's treating you like, oh, you children.
Well,
you know,
in the true vein and spirit of the horseshoe theory, you just described both the Bro SR and the Rabid 5e players.
I didn't.
Oh, look, I killed stuff. It's time to get the next level. It's time to go get the next set of loot. It's time to go build the next castle. I mean, at least the Bro SR is honest that they're just essentially playing. Well, they're not playing a video game. They are playing what the video games copied early on because
true.
You know, let's face it, a lot of these video games, that mechanic, the leveling up mechanic, all that stuff came from D&D. So they at least got that on their side. But, you know, horseshoe theory, that's what both of them are doing. The whole purpose of coming to the game is to get the new pants.
And here we are. And since we are talking D&D analogies, this brings me to my final thing of the day.
So
Y'all ready? Yes.
Yep.
Good job, Daniel. You segued us right on into it. Okay.
I should have saved my thing for last, but I knew we were going to talk about D&D later.
No. Okay. This was a good question that was raised, and I'm not throwing any shade on this poster at all because it's a good question. But I'm going to go ahead and post it up So you guys can see it, and then I'll read out my response because this is what I came up with. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Okay, Dr. Brainenstein up on X, good guy, says, now here's a question because it kind of stumped me at first. He says, how do you design a scientist or engineer type TTRPG class without just making them skill monkeys? We know we don't want magic, at least. May include limited psionic type abilities, but that would be a separate class. My response was pretty simple. I said, you put some tasks beyond what characters who aren't members of those classes can do. Scientists and engineers should be able to craft support items for others, as well as do specialized work that people can't cross-train into. Example is like, a fighter throughout his entire career can still never pick a lock or detect a trap in the same way that a thief could, especially in first edition.
Yeah.
Even if it's something like disarming traps or crafting medicine. One of the problems with most TTRPGs now is that the niche class has gone out of favor with people wanting to be able to do every single task and skill in the game, as well as remain combat effective. This is due to everyone in the game suffering from main character syndrome.
You have to accept you're not going to be able to do everything.
Exactly. But that's the thing. And I have to blame 3rd edition for this, because this is kind of where that started. I'm not going to say that the problem all started with 3rd edition. There were other games, of course, that were doing this long before then. But in 3rd edition, you started getting feats, and you started getting the prestige classes, and then Pathfinder 1st edition compounded this by creating archetypes. And the thing is, all of these feats, archetypes, and prestige classes allowed you to do is mimic or copy the abilities of other classes. So if you want a thief that can cast clerical healing, there's probably a feat and an archetype that can handle it. You want a fighter who can pick locks and disarm traps, there you could do it. And what you end up with is a gray goo of classes and possibly race combinations. That didn't help either. That just added another wrinkle to it, where no niche class actually exists. I don't know. But that was my take on it. What do you guys think?
Well, I vehemently disagree about 3.5, but I can see 3.5 as the genesis of it.
Yes.
In 3.5, at least within what was contained in the official releases and some of the better stuff. I mean, you got to be careful with the OGL. You got a lot of crazy stuff from out of the off in the distance. But getting those feats, prestige classes, and stuff to make your fighter function okay as a rogue or okay as a caster or something required sacrifice. You were never going to measure up to the fighter who focused on fighting. And prestige classes were a niche. It was, I want to be more specialized and more niche and very, very good in this area while sacrificing from these areas. Now, where you hit the nail on the head is Pathfinder was the super power gamer, meta nerd, Magic the Gathering player, competitive the Gathering player, looking at 3.5 and saying, how can I make this more power creep? How can I make this more I'm good at everything? How can I eliminate the sacrifices? And that's Pathfinder. Now it's I can be everything, and I don't have to give up being really good at what I'm supposed to be at in order to get these other abilities. And
I will actually say, though, let me just interject for a sec. That wasn't just a Pathfinder first edition problem. I had a DM who complained to me loudly that 4th edition, one of the first things out of his mouth was, we don't need a cleric in 4th edition anymore because everybody can heal themselves.
Well, I mean, I'm D&D after 3.5. I don't have much use for to begin with. Like, I mean, just look at how hard it is to kill anything in 5th edition without using a 14 variant rules and a bunch of other house modifications to bring some lethality back to it. But yeah, you do have a lot of that. You have a lot of the I have to be good at everything nonsense, and it's permeated game philosophy, game design philosophy. Because one thing I've always said is that when people say balance, they mean the wrong thing. We do need a game that's balanced, mechanically balanced in a TTRPG. But the problem is it's not each class is balanced against each other. It's parties are balanced within their roles as a party against the environment.
They're supposed to be, but
yeah.
our talk has pulled an ancient out of his slumber.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Joining us now in the studio is Iris, Greg.
Woo!
What's going on?
What's up? Have you been following the convo?
I just got done doing what I was doing, so I figured I'd had time to jump in if there's still time.
There's still time because we threw a question down that I figured. I mean, as a game guy, a game designer guy, you might actually have some input on. Okay. But the question is how do you design a scientist or engineer type TTRPG class without just making them skill monkeys? We know we don't want magic, at least. May include limited psionic type abilities, but that would be a separate class.
Oh, okay.
Well, the fundamental thing, though, is you have to make sure you have a clear idea of what the class ought to be. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't want to just use skills or have that as a solution, you have to make it very clear. Is this going to be more akin to an alchemist? If so, you could put in some stipulations about potions and brewing, and you have very specific classes and abilities and ideas for what it could do.
Yep, and dead on, but also a very, very clear idea of what role in the party or as a what role in the group it's supposed to fill as well. I think the mastermind from Everyday Heroes does this extremely well because it's got that mechanic where you can basically go back and retcon something because you got so many mastermind points and it's like, oh no, I knew this was going to happen because I'm a mastermind. And I spend my mastermind points to basically step in and say, well, I planned for this the whole time and here's how it works in my favor. But it's mechanically limited. So you can't just, retcon everything like, some 5th edition DMs do. But that would be a good way to work it.
Any thought on that, Greg?
Yeah, well, I can only offer my thoughts from my recent Titans game that I made.
Yeah, perfect.
Because I decided to circumvent that completely by making the classes not holistic at all. So you use skill points, or you actually use experience points. I used to call them skill points, but I changed it to experience points to choose your background. And your background is kind of like a class that gives you certain bonuses, and you can get extra levels in that background for more powerful abilities. But you don't spend all of your skill points to choose that background. So you can be a xenobiologist or a medical doctor who's also a ninja, right? or who's also a sniper. Or you could not even do that at all, and you can not choose a background and just focus all your points on whatever skills you want. And then you can make a kind of generalist who's really good at a few scientific topics, like a hacker doctor who's also really good at like shooting missiles, So that's how I handled it with that. It's not a one class does all these different things and you're kind of stuck with that class and you can't break out of it, and you're a skill monkey is like what you said. That's not like that at all.
Das, you got anything?
Well, I think the way you get around it is you make sure that the class, in this case, the tech class, is the only one of that group that can actually do that skill.
Yeah.
You have some skills that cannot be replicated. You have others that can. There's some of the lesser skills, but there should always be some skill that a particular class has that no other class can do.
I agree.
That gives each class its own reason for being. That's just
No, I think you're exactly right.
it's just the whole thing. You could do everything. That's all. That comes from video gaming. That's and that's as much as I play video games. That definitely hurt the TTRPG feel.
Yeah, I mean, like if Daniel's playing Diablo 2 and all of a sudden, his Amazon is getting, like necromancer and barbarian abilities and stuff like that, how overpowered does that make his his Amazon?
Well, we've got there's a analogy there's actually an example of that within the game when they rolled out the rune words not in the original expansion, but when they did the first major overhaul expansion for update and released a whole bunch of new rune words, you had Enigma, which gave teleport to anybody who had Enigma. And next thing you know, it is the default end game armor for every class. And it massively made like barbarians and paladins and stuff crazy, because paladin would teleport over, drop 15 blessed hammers and teleport back while the hammers just wrecked everything. Barbarian would teleport right next to something, whirlwind right through it, and would teleport across half a level and stuff like that. And that was just a simple method of you gave a sorcerer ability to everybody. And the difference between the sorceress and the paladin and the barbarian was the paladin and the barbarian could tank hits. So they would just teleport right next to stuff and destroy it. Mm-hmm. Whereas the sorceress, if she teleported right next to something, she's probably going to get killed in 2 shots. And it was it seems like a very minor difference, but it radically, a barbarian with Enigma was head and shoulders above a barbarian without it.
Oh, yeah.
I think, though, as far as TTRPGs goes, everybody join the revolution. Evolve. You got some guys out there, we're going to go to 4D role-playing. No, that's just a play style. That's not evolution. Evolution is getting rid of classes. All games become based entirely on skills and upgrading individual aspects of your character in ways that make sense. So nobody has a class.
Well, then we already have the solution to that, because Greg Stafford came up with that years ago whenever he made the basic role-playing system, which was RuneQuest at the time.
Yeah, and Call of Cthulhu also that way.
I always kind of liked the core of what White Wolf had, because you could make just about any type of character and actually have them be really good at something at the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely true. You could have a character with like 3 or 4 pips in something at the beginning and be kind of an expert, which would also kind of make sense as to why they would want to, somebody would want to embrace them. Because, you had a Toreador, grabbing an art historian who's like, got like 4 or 5 pips in art history. He's like, yeah, of course, you could see that.
Yeah, I mean, if my character is supposed to be like an expert thief, it doesn't make that much sense that he just sucks at it because he's level 1.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you put level 1. I mean, from like a 3.5 D&D perspective, absolutely, he should be very competent even at level 1, because as I tell people, in 3.5 D&D, a player character is essentially like a medalist Olympian. That's the level they're at level 1. And by the time they're level 10, they're dunking on Michael Jordan and he can't get past them.
Well,
but in another game, like say Call of Cthulhu, where you're just starting out, it's like, dude, you're just regular, average, everyday Joe. You're not anything special, and you get better by using those particular skills.
And I've shown on more than one occasion how like first edition Pathfinder made it possible to where you could have a character at level 1 that was so hyper maxed out towards one particular skill, didn't matter which one it was, just by combining traits, races, archetypes, and classes in such a way as to min-max that particular skill. And people were like, it's okay if people do that. I mean, if that's what they want to do. But I'm like, you realize how ridiculous that sounds, because it's like, if, skill checks are on a D20 based system, then it falls to the point where it's kind of like his starting skill is so high that, you know, unless he rolls a 1 in this particular thing, he's not going to fail.
Yeah, that's why I don't have any bonuses. I don't have any bonuses or penalties in the game. You roll more dice. You don't add a +1 or a +2.
And sad as it seems, you know, and this is one thing I will give 5th edition some credit for. You know, and I don't give them credit for much, but I will give them credit for this. Obviously, they realized that all the bonuses and the stacking of bonuses was getting ridiculous. That's why they eventually went to the advantage, you know, where you roll 2 dice and you take the better of the 2 dice, because you still have a chance to mess up.
Yeah.
And there's still tons of broken things in 5e, so...
Oh, God, yeah. I'm not saying the system's perfect, but, I mean, that's one thing that they got right.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be careful, because this will be the first... Because I've been playing TTRPGs and running them since 2019. Never ran 5e before until now. So this is going to be interesting, seeing how... Taking some of the stuff I've learned and seeing, like, okay, how can I make this better? What can I change without, like, overconfidently breaking the game? Like, if I could, one thing I saw going through the Dungeon Master guides, because I do have that, was they have a proficiency dice optional rule, where instead of just adding a modifier, you have dice you can throw alongside for your proficiency, and it adds more randomness to it. And if I was able to get D&D Beyond to do that, I would totally add that to the game.
Well, I mean, this is kind of like one of the reasons why basic D&D never completely went away. Because after playing AD&D and getting all, you know, burnt out on all the rules and shit, and that was stuff in AD&D that nobody ever used. I mean, I don't care if you're like a diehard 100%, you know, I'm attached at the hip to Jeffro Bro SR member. I bet you never use psionics from first edition D&D, AD&D.
I did.
You do? You do?
Yep.
I used them in 2nd edition because that's the one I came in.
Well, 2nd edition makes sense because they actually gave you... First, they rewrote them. And second, they gave you an entire campaign world where you had to use them. Because I didn't bother learning psionics until I started playing Dark Sun.
When I'm running 1st edition, I make every player roll to see if they're a wild talent or not.
Huh? Well, I mean... To this day, I still don't understand how psionics in 1st edition really works. I mean, and I see monsters that are statted out with tons of psionic shit, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I bet everybody is like me, and they just kind of gloss over it on that.
I mean, hell, I had a character that had Spellfire, if you know what that is.
I remember Spellfire. I remember Wildfire, too.
I mean, that was crunchy systems and crunchy rules. I think they're one of those things that people misuse on a regular basis. It's one of the common complaints with 3.5 is all the different stuff. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, the reason it's broken is because you're opening the tool chest and trying to use all the tools instead of pulling out the tools you need for the job. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need to do with those things. Is like you pick the correct variants. And as a game master, you're supposed to have the knowledge and the common sense to say these bonuses should apply, these bonuses should not apply in this situation. Not just a rote black and white, I can apply everything because I have this. It's this should work or this should not work in this situation. And there are other variants for you to select from. And a crunchy system is garbage if you try to use everything all at once every time. Just like having every single tool out of the Snap-on catalog is garbage if you're going to try and use them all on every single job.
Yeah, and there is there's kind of a trust issue as well, because as we know in the gaming industry, the motto of all publishers is publish or die. You know, it is always on you to get another edition of your product out, or a supplement, or an adventure, or something that supports what you created. And so the problem is, from what I've seen, is that people take it on authority that because it came from, it's an officially licensed Wizards of the Coast product, that whatever's in it is automatically vetted, bulletproof, and works great, and is designed to drop right into your game world with no modifications, when that's not the case, as we found out, especially in the latter half of 3.5, when they started dropping shit like Power Word Pain.
Well, what
Meta magic.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was the beauty of the OGL, and just like anything else, the OGL was a double-edged sword.
Yes.
They recognized that a big part of what killed TSR was that they were publishing everything themselves. They were constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul, and every now and then Peter didn't have any money, so they went into debt. And it was because they knew that they had to keep putting stuff out to keep people buying, to keep D&D on their mind, to keep them a captive customer. And if they only had, like, say, core books and then something every few years, people would get out of their D&D phase before they could get excited about the new thing coming out. So Wizards comes out and says, we're going to let everybody be our publishers. We're going to let all of you publish. You can all publish. You can all make money off of it. We're not even, we are encouraging you to do that. Then they went back and they started saying, that works well. Steal that. That works well. Steal that. And, oh, here's Savage Races or whatever that was basically copy pasted from a bunch of other people. At the end, they just started scrounging for, I think they had kind of scaled their team back and brought in their 4E crew, which there's a whole history of that design debacle. The 4E guys really hated everything D&D was before 4E. That's why it's so different. But
I just call it World of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
World of Dungeon Craft. But but towards the end of 3.5, it's like, okay, we have really scaled back the number of team members who are on 3.5, but we still have a bi-monthly or quarterly release schedule. Now they're not vetting these things that they're grabbing out of OGL content and putting it in. Oh, that sounds cool. That looks good. That looks like it's just a reflavored this. Slap that in the book and let's put it out. And you got a lot of badly made stuff in both directions.
Yeah. And it's true. It's sad. And it is the case. And I haven't seen any other game systems where this wasn't the case. It's like once you open the door to third-party publishing, and that's not to say you shouldn't. You should. But once you do, just be aware of how that's going to fundamentally affect your game and in what ways. Not to mention the fact that, vetting your own stuff ahead of time is kind of like a must. I mean, I'm pretty sure half the crap that got published at the end of 3.5 had never been used or tested or anything else. It was just kind of like, sounds like a good idea. Let's just toss it in.
I just consider that Kinks and Cantrips exists.
Hey, Kinks and Cantrips is a book.
Well, there was way worse that was published way before that. I mean, you had, what was it, Sex and Sorcery and that kind of garbage that came out beforehand.
I don't even, stuff like that doesn't really upset me. I have copies of those books and stuff like that on the shelf. They were novel. I had players try to use some of that stuff at the table. They kind of ended up with weak sauce creatures and all that kind of stuff. And, it's like, okay, it's fun, but unless you're with a group that is like of mixed gender and they're willing to be open-minded that way and and
when you have a book that outright says the purpose of this is for you as a game master to abuse and psychologically torment your players, and it literally says this is for you to abuse your players emotionally, that ain't good.
Are you prepared to open up the water sports store for the players?
I like that. I wish to bleach my brain.
Well, I mean, okay.
Instead of Tomb of Horrors, you have Tomb of Horrors, and that door that fills the room with blood just squirts all over you.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
Not the image I wanted.
Let's be honest, okay? Like, if let's say I was running a game right now for the 7 of you guys, and I said we're gonna use Kinks and Cantrips at this, most of y'all will probably go, "Nah, I'm gonna bow out."
Yeah, I'm like doing a an adult Fabula Ultimate game with a group of people, and I
Damn.
think none of us are doing. It said no bathroom shit.
I want to join that game, but I digress. But now, let's say I said we were going to use the Kinks and Cantrips book, and it's the 70 of you guys playing, but I also have 4 hot as hell, strippers or sex workers or something, also as part of the game who are wanting to get into it more. All of a sudden, some of y'all would still want to back out, but some of y'all would be like, okay, this is slightly more interesting. This could be fun.
I mean, you might as well pulled out Lewd Dungeon Adventures at that point.
Well, you could. That's Grim does that for his game, for his
at the same time,
adult game that he runs.
At the same time, though, there can be interesting uses of stuff from those books that doesn't have to just inherently be sexual. Like sometimes there's like a decent restraining spell that, well, yes, was written with the intention of bondage in mind, does have a actually useful purpose.
Yeah, and that's more fun to me anyways, just finding different ways to use some of that stuff and repurpose it into such a way as to where it's actually useful and not just kinky.
Yeah,
Well, you could also have some comedy with it. I mean, just have a dominatrix interrogator.
People turn Honda Civics into race cars. That doesn't mean that they're good at it.
Yeah, that's why I was influenced by that comic book, The Giant Cock Jew. I think I told you about that one T-shirt, right?
It'll certainly make encounters with succubuses more interesting.
Well, imagine, just to prove a point, like let's say you do pick a dominatrix type fighter, and that's her main weapon is whips, but you end up becoming an extremely effective character by the use of the talents and stuff that class has, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, people be like, we can make fun of them, but she just kicked the shit out of that Balrog, and he has a whip too.
Hey, that's fine and all, but it's then when she and her private partner go over to have their kink time over in the corner, it's like the rest of it. What's one thing that we always say is a major problem with the 5e modern player? What's one thing that you yourself have pointed out as an issue that comes with some of the stuff that started our TTRP discussion about classes? Main character syndrome. Congratulations, yes. You just turned the rest of your table into voyeurs watching 2 people have main character syndrome, or one person have main character syndrome with the GM's NPC.
Okay, now that is a different matter, but all I would say about that is you'd have to agree ahead of time. Is like, look, guys, any shenanigans, any bedroom shenanigans, kinky shenanigans, things like that, not everybody's into it, so we're gonna FTB that stuff, so that because let's be serious. I mean, there's 7 guys sitting at the table with you. We really don't want to hear about the 2 of y'all, having happy fun time in the tent. But they just don't. I mean,
I kind of want to make if there's another one, I kind of want to make a dominatrix fighter now.
Well, yeah. See, there you go. See, I just gave you an idea. You can steal that one. And Savo says, yeah, if you have a group of friends so comfortable with each other to RP porn with a straight face, you probably will never need therapy. Now, I mean, that's true. But
I don't think it would be straight.
She misspelled already. You probably already need therapy.
I don't know. I think there is probably a place at the table for just about every supplement, depending on the game and how well it's vetted and how open-minded your players are. But yeah, there's probably a few out there that stretch that to a new limitation. Like I'm pretty sure there's no way you could play Fatal. But that's the one that always gets brought up. Everyone always brings up Fatal. That's like the nuclear weapon of TTRPG extremism.
Yeah,
it's the elephant in the room.
The issue is not necessarily sexual content or gore horror content. The issue is the directive and the way it flows, in the fact that when your stated goal is to facilitate the abuse of your players, there's no such thing as good abuse. There's simulated abuse that some people get off on. There is no such thing as good abuse.
No, there isn't. Actually, which game has this in it? I'm just curious. Not that I want to read it.
Not Sex and Sorcery. What's the other one? The other Ron Edwards book. The one that Safety Pools literally comes from.
What, erotic fantasy?
Yeah, I think it's in the Book of Erotic Fantasy.
I have the Book of Erotic Fantasy. It was actually a bestseller at our store, but I don't remember it necessarily saying anything in there about that. Actually, from what I remember reading about in it, it was more or less like you need to treat this stuff, with the respect it deserves, and respect your players' wishes, and not step all over them when it comes to this kind of thing, because it can be touchy, but it's just designed to add a little bit of fun to your game. I think Grimm's probably read it cover to cover, so he could probably tell you more.
I was kind of considered the system that had the most messed up stuff to be like Werewolf, because like they literally have fertility rituals and those other crazy shit. I'm like going, yeah, this can really go into dark corners of DeviantArt really fast.
Yeah,
well, that's why White Wolf. That's why White Wolf eventually ended up with the Black Dog Gaming or publishing gaming company, because it's like, yeah, they had stuff that was so bad they didn't want it as their regular White Wolf releases. And I remember specifically the Book of the Fomori was one of those, and I've probably still got a copy around here somewhere, because it was just like absolutely the most horrifying shit you could imagine.
Wasn't there a role-playing game based on the Gore books?
Yeah. Actually, Grimm publishes one. He has a license for it.
Well, I meant from back in the day.
Oh, from back in the day, I have no idea. I know Grimm has the license to the current one. So again, this is why we needed Grimm on today. But
he got hurt too much.
Yeah, he hurt his back too much on the 14-hour stream, which is kind of like, why do you do this to yourself? You're 50. Don't do this to yourself.
Well, it was for a good cause, so
yeah. But if I had to sit in the same chair for 14 hours, yeah, I'd be in a lot of pain too. No matter how comfortable the chair is.
I can't do it now, but I used to be able to do it when I was younger, because I used to run that long.
Yeah. Yeah, when you were younger, you could do that. You could like start playing you could start playing a video game at like 7 in the morning, and 7 the following morning you would finally crawl into bed.
Yeah. Well, I've ran D&D games that were 24 hours.
Yeah. I've played a few of those. They were fun.
God, the Witcher tabletop, when I was with a group that did that, we had like 12-hour sessions, and I was like, I can't do this anymore after a couple months.
Savo, you should check out Grimm streams to see what it's for a good cause. But I totally recommend you go check it out, because it's worth it. I haven't sat through all 14 hours of it myself yet, but maybe someday. I got too many other things I gotta watch and play. Speaking of which, we're almost 2 hours in, guys. What do you think? Is everybody? Have we kind of? I think we pretty well shot through most of the topics pretty well. I mean, does anybody have any movies or anything like that are coming out that you know of that are going to be good? Or?
I'm looking forward to Running Man.
That new one. You know, I'm not sure. It looks kind of good, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
Well, they never adapted the novel, so they're adapting the novel as far as I can tell.
I was holding out hope for Tron Ares, and then I saw Disney put Mr. Beast in some of the marketing. I don't think he's in the movie. I think it was just a stupid marketing thing. Yeah, so I'm bummed. I already had the Jared Leto curse to worry about.
I mean, I predicted that originally. I said, yeah, it's the Jared Leto curse is already upon this film. So
yeah. I was going to tell you about For All Mankind.
Yes, you were. Okay, I knew I forgot something. Yes, go ahead and tell me about this, because I don't know anything about this.
Well, in a nutshell, what it is it's an alternate timeline where Russia actually beat the United States to the moon.
Mhm.
And it basically shocked the nation, and they ended up jump starting the, instead of the, oh, we've made it to the moon, we're done with the space program. It actually became a huge part of society. And when the Soviet Union started, put a woman on the moon, they opened it up, and it was, that's when they did the whole, there's female astronauts now. There was did the whole thing about, equal rights and stuff, because it's the time period.
Yeah.
Had the ERA and all that stuff, but they did it in a way that wasn't overly in your face about it.
Mhm.
There's a character there's a lesbian and gay character that are married because they, at the time, you couldn't be who you wanted to be.
No.
And it's but it doesn't, it's just, they're just good characters. That's not who they are. That just happens to be something about them. And there's 4 seasons out, and the 5th season has been greenlit. It got greenlit in April, and they're working on it now.
Oh, it's Apple.
Yeah, it's Apple.
Oh, interesting. I thought he was still doing Outlander.
No. And it's, the thing is, it was created by Ron D. Moore, the guy that created Battlestar Galactica, the rebooted Battlestar Galactica, the guy on Deep Space Nine, the guy on Voyager. It's so it has a pedigree. And it's really good, and they're on Mars now.
And it's got Joel Kinnaman.
Yep.
Well, hell. Okay. After I finish this season of Foundation, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, but it's very good. I love the series. It was one of the best sci-fi series. It's one of the best sci-fi series currently on. I mean, before that it was The Expanse, but that's a whole other kettle of fish.
I'm not really satisfied with Alien Earth. I think it's pretty fucking dumb so far.
It's very
I
fucking dumb.
haven't been able to force myself to watch it yet. I barely got the first episode of season 2 of Peacemaker finished.
If you want a good AI story in TV, Murderbot.
That's a good movie. That's a good show. That is a good show.
Excellent.
I haven't read the books, but yeah, the
I
show
love
is
the
so
books.
good.
Especially the show within the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Thanks,
he's got
Raymond.
the thing for the soap opera.
Yep. Don't you dare insult his show. He'll blow your head off.
Yeah, but the thing, the it really doesn't do his personal internal monologue as well as it does in the books. The series doesn't, but I don't think it really hurts it that much.
I'm not really
a lot
sure
of the
why
core of Murderbot is intact from the translation.
Oh yeah, it is, and that's what's good about it. I'm glad it's getting another season.
I'm not even sure why the alien is in this show at all, to be honest. It doesn't offer anything.
And timeline wise, doesn't it take place before?
Yeah,
The
like
first
2 years
Alien
before
movie.
Alien.
Yeah.
And he's saying that, it's actually in its own universe now, meaning that you didn't even care. Yeah. And Ice Age is a major part of the entire series.
Yeah, I've seen that, but that's really just a very minor thing.
How was Ice Age?
Like the cartoon?
Yeah,
Yes,
because literally they have Ice Age cut into the thing because the whole thing is that her and her brother, when they were kids, that's what they were watching, even though it's like 100 years later.
I mean, we watch stuff that's 100 years old all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, and Greg, I've got something, a comparison that I've already shown to the others, but I figured I'd scar you with this too. This was kind of what this performance reminded me of. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I did making it and watching the panel cringe.
You have something that belongs to me.
To be fair, it fell from the sky and broke one of my buildings.
Hi, let's look at some of my old vines. Here I am over a decade ago.
I'm afraid I can't allow that just yet. You know, the tower is still too unstable.
Can you believe? So long ago, serving queer joy, serving delight.
And I don't have to remind you that
yes,
any incursion on a prodigy territory will be construed as a hostile act.
Serving self-kindness and self-admiration.
This is what lawyers are for. You know, you have yours, talk to mine.
I should talk to mine after watching that clip.
Oh damn, man!
It's so on the nose with it because, like, yeah, okay, you don't like Elon Musk and Sam Bankman-Fried. I get it.
Yeah. Greg, any comments?
No.
You know, T-shirt, I think you may be on your way to disproving the existence of a loving God.
I mean, I don't know about that so much, but people are taking a little bit too much from other people's performances, I guess, or some things are just a way too on the nose. Which I finally heard that, one of the episodes finally has, what happened on the Maginot and how the thing that actually escaped and killed everybody on board wasn't the Xeno.
You already know everything that happened. The only thing that add in is that they reveal certain people and their company were involved.
Of course, yeah. Boy Cavalier and his company were already involved in the sabotage to begin with. It's like, duh.
Yeah, it's like, why'd the ship come here? Oh yeah, you made sure it did.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like there were still other factors, like why a ship the size of a Star Destroyer didn't cause a global extinction event when it hit the planet. Even though the rockets were still firing, how it was that it managed to impale itself on a building.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Oh, no.
They were out of fuel, so the rockets couldn't be firing.
But the rockets were firing as they were pulling up to it.
I know. I know.
Look at Daniel's expression. That just says it all.
So avoid alien Earth.
It's like, imagine them wanting to do something on the level of The Expanse, because the whole thing they're going at is that, these 5 major corporations run the Earth, and everyone knows it. It's not like a hidden thing. It's like the territories are actually done in the map on that way. Yes. Going, okay, you have a lot of explaining to do. They explain none of it other than that 5 major corporations are in charge, and it basically spending time in a lab or on this facility.
So bad world building.
No world building.
There's only 2 alien properties: Alien and Aliens. After that, there's nothing else. It's just like there's only one Highlander movie.
Isolation.
Alien Isolation.
Honestly, I don't waste your time with that. And if anything, here in about 2.5, 3 hours, come watch Kamen Rider. We got the new series premiering in the US.
So Ironcaster, if I had to ask you, would you wanna hang out and play some and watch some Alien games and movies, or some zombie games and movies?
Zombie.
That's what I thought you'd say.
I mean, if it's the AVP arcade game, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can actually play that now. I think it did on Capcom Fighting Collection. I want to say it is.
Did they release it? Because it's never gotten a port as far as I know. I mean, obviously there's MAME, but
there's 2 out yet.
What Capcom video game? Let me see. I'm pretty sure the arcade game is on. Always blocked it. No, stop it. Allow it. Stop it. hell? Okay, let me see. Legacy 2017 Toy Company.
Yeah, they did action figures in part because there were character designs they owned.
Lieutenant Lin Kurosawa.
Yeah, if you were gonna do a female centric thing with like going superhero, she would be a good pick. But of course, they'd probably just screw her up anyways.
Oh, in 2019, Capcom announced that the game would be included on its Capcom Home Arcade dedicated console. I guess it never did. I don't know. Huh.
I mean, if I'm not saying as much as I never heard about getting a home release.
I could have sworn it was on one of the 2 Capcom fighting collections, but I guess I'm not right on that one.
It's not.
That's okay.
And the Capcom Home Arcade is $500.
Ooh. You know what? I'm not buying that.
Nope.
Not especially whenever Capcom keeps releasing all their games on the PC.
I mean, all it is a fucking 2-player joystick with a flash drive inside it. Like, people have built this for MAME. People have built like MAME things that are way better, and you just plug it in with HDMI to your TV. Like, that's all it is.
Glorified tax on the stupid.
Yeah.
I keep hoping against hope that Koa Mix will pull their head out of their asses, decide we would like some money, and release the Fist of the North Star arcade fighting game that was created by the same guys who did Guilty Gear.
Drink.
Yeah. I wish they would re-release that onto some home ports so we could enjoy that now, because they did it several times before. They did it on PS2. They did it on Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, there is another. Recently, Fear Effect got re-released on like Steam and a whole bunch of other consoles. Which, if you've never played, it's basically the video game version of Big Trouble in Little China.
I was gonna say, did Night Dive Studios redo that? Or
No, it was limited run, unfortunately.
Oh.
But it's only like $10 on Steam, so I highly recommend.
Okay, that's not bad. I don't think I've played anything too new and exciting on PC this last week. I've mostly been doing other stuff. Although I did find Jotun Slayer: The Hordes of Hell, which is kind of fun if you want to play a bullet hell, which I know Ironcaster likes.
Kanana? That's kind of fun.
Did you have to give him that Evercade collection T-shirt?
Evercade collection. I showed it to you.
Oh right.
Yeah, last week.
Oh yeah,
right.
T-shirt.
Yes.
Guilty Gear Lucy came out.
I know. That's the only reason I bought Guilty Gear. So now I can pay $9 and get Lucy in the game. Oh God, I'm such a chump. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, let's pack it in for today. I don't know who is running tomorrow. I tentatively had said that I was going to push my game to this Sunday, but as is usually the case, Grim always ends up saying, well, I'll just run mine instead. But considering that his back is shit right now, he may not want to be in the GM seat tomorrow. So I can't honestly say who's running.
So you're saying we may get to see more of the Buddy Brigade?
Yeah, you may get to see more of the Bunny Brigade. That would be bad, wouldn't it? You'd hate that.
Yes,
Right?
they're blondes with their lithe bodies perfectly tanned in the sun.
Let me see. Wait a minute. I think I still have that description somewhere. Let me find it. Where did I put that description? Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff written up on this already.
It's fine.
I literally came up with an entire thing to publish this with. I was planning on doing it just as a drop in for NPC Squad.
Their bosoms subtly bouncing up and down as they run across the field.
Yes,
guns in hand.
Where did I write that exact thing? Out of the haze and scorched winds, you spot them. A cluster of 5 figures stepping down from a shattered ridge, sunlight catching in their blonde hair. Their bodies are lithe, graceful, effortless against the jagged terrain. They move like trained scouts, calm, efficient. But there's something soothing about them, too. Familiar, almost comforting. They look like survivors. Their combat vests are dusted with ash, but clean. Their tanned skin glows with health, the kind you haven't seen since before the skies turned gray. Each carries a rifle slung low, casual but ready. Soldiers, yes, but relaxed, fluid, alive. Bunny ears, actual soft fabric ones, are clipped playfully to their headgear, adding an odd, harmless charm. A strange souvenir from another time. And then one of them, tall, striking, her eyes a clear, unguarded blue, raises a hand in greeting. Her voice cuts through the air like honey. Hey there, strangers. Are you okay? You look like you've been through hell. She smiles. It's warm, real, the kind of smile you forgot existed. There you go. Everybody's quiet. Why are you all quiet?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's it. Show's over.
Yep, that's it. Show's over. Yeah. Look, Greg muted his mic. Ironcaster muted his mic. It'd have been more funny if Greg had read it, though. He could do Greg voice. Were you enjoying it with one hand or two?
Yeah, I gotta go make dinner if I want to get ready for my own stuff tonight.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and close it down. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Like I said, don't know what's going to be on tomorrow, but tune in because someone will run something, I'm sure. Until then, we'll see ya and have a great week in Geek.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey,
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.